Biden thought the average salary was $100,000 a year. The average person spends 60 years of their life trying to make $100,000 a year. I can say what y'all want to about this generation. The one thing that we did get right is figuring out how to make $500,000 by tomorrow. How to be a millionaire by next week. Now, I still ain't cracked the code yet. I'm just thankful for my TikTok check. That's the one thing that we did do pretty daggone well. You know, the crazy thing is, by the time a lot of people hit 50, 60, 70 years old, and they are bringing in that type of money a year, end up not being able to reap the benefits of what it's like to make anywhere near over $100,000 a year in income. Most of the problems that happen in marriages and relationships happen because of the lack of finances. Being poor is so expensive that it literally still has the people who get to good money being so scared of poverty that they won't spend any money. And that's me, because I'm always scared to spend $5 on a drink. And I got no kids and not that many responsibilities.
Okay, so they say being rich is expensive, but being broke, that's the most expensive lifestyle that you will ever have. Let me explain why poverty costs more than wealth, okay?
Being poor in this country is very expensive. So whatever you have to do to combat poverty, then you need to do it. I don't care about the student loan debt. You're combating poverty. The student loan debt is going to be the least of your worries.
Hey, Rych Babes, it's Rych Milan. This isn't a flex. It is about reality. The poorer you are, the more you end up paying in money and time and health and peace for things that wealthy people pay less for or never deal with at all. Okay, so let's get right into this video, girl. Make sure that you like, subscribe, and share, and I'll be back at the end with the rest of my commentary, okay?
Being poor is so damn expensive. You don't have insurance and you can't afford to go to the doctor, then you have to have a $4,000 procedure a couple of years down the line. You have to go online and pay your bills. They're going to charge you a 1.5% fee. If you are late on a bill and they charge you a $100 fee, if I couldn't afford the bill in the first place, how am I going to afford the damn fee? If your bank goes in overdraft, they're going to charge you $35. Being poor is expensive, and I think that has been the best thing that has come out of this conversation, is that people are finally acknowledging that poverty for most people is not a choice. It is the result of circumstances within this country that make it to where people are working 40, 50, 60 hours a week and still cannot afford to exist in this country. They can't afford basic needs like food, clothing, shelter, any of that. And the thing is, it wasn't just in the last 4 years that this started happening. People have been poor for quite some time. And that is absolutely ridiculous. Your car breaks down, you can't get your car fixed, so then you can't make it to work, and it's just too much. A better world is possible.
So if you've seen the movie In Time with Justin Timberlake, that is one of my favorite movies, because it was just such a beautiful depiction on the cost of success, the cost of wealth, and how those with it take it for granted and how it's used so frivolously, and the people who don't have it, the cost that they have to pay to live without it. And when he was crossing basically the different time zones, he was crossing the different planes of existence for low class, middle class, upper class, like just taking the cost he had to pay. And the currency, by the way, is time. So the cost he had to pay, it was hundreds of years. This movie is such a beautiful depiction. And it was hundreds of years he had to pay just to get from the poverty level he was at to the level of wealth, of disgusting wealth that he had, because a guy came to his plane to off himself and he left him with all his time.
The price of not knowing something is so costly, and that is why it's so expensive to be poor. If you don't know or have the awareness that there is a better option than a payday loan, sometimes it's the only option. But even if there is another option and you just don't know, the price of not having that knowledge is so expensive. And as someone who grew up poor, I want to make the distinction. It's not ignorance, because ignorance is different. Ignorance is willfully not wanting to learn something. But growing up, I just didn't have access to that knowledge. And in access, I mean community, because while we all have the internet, if you don't know something even exists, how are you supposed to search it up? And so on a community level, if you just don't have the knowledge, then that means you don't have the resources. And in turn, that means that you're going to make a lot of financial mistakes because you just don't know any better.
Did you know that it's actually more expensive to allow poverty to continue to exist in a country than if the government just alleviated people out of poverty? Because what most of us have been brainwashed to believe is that poverty happens because people deserve it, which is like kind of messed up. But anyway, point of the matter is getting people out of poverty, okay? Like putting money into not just like social services, but like also like giving people money, giving people housing, giving people like basic needs covered, will decrease people's sickness, right? Which means that they are less likely to rely and put pressure on the healthcare system. It helps people to get access to education, which means that they're more likely to be able to explore productivity, right? We like productivity, right? Assuming that you want productivity. I think people should just deserve to exist, but that's a different story for a different time. Reducing poverty also increases disposable income, which means that there's more likely to be people that are going to actually want to spend more money. Whenever like there's like an economic crisis, I'm just like, how do these corporations survive? Like low key, you know why they survive? Because governments keep bailing them out, by the way. It also reduces crime. Okay, getting people out of poverty significantly reduces crime because crime and poverty are interlinked like this. Like you cannot separate them, okay? And that also just like reduces welfare costs. Like you people don't need welfare anymore, and there's more intergenerational benefits for everybody. So why do we still have so much issue? It's actually, this is like policy analysis. So you look at like the cost of how much it is. It's actually less cost, less strain if we just got people out of poverty, if the government spent money to get people out of poverty, because what that would do in turn is it would put less pressure on all these different issues. You wouldn't have to call the cops all the time, which like, I don't like cops anyway. You wouldn't have to put so much strain on like healthcare systems. You wouldn't have to put so much strain on basically like any social service, more or less. Like people would just be better. Like it would just be less cost for everything else. Like we need to put our heads together, that's all.
Living in a hotel taught me how expensive it is to be poor. I need us to shift our mindset on calling the unhoused lazy when rent is $2,200. If you are in your 30s, you remember when rent was $500, $600. With $600 rent, you could sell a little blood, sell a few items, pawn a few things, give a little bone marrow, and you were good. There's nothing you can do to come up with an extra $2,200 a month in this economy. There's nothing. And I guarantee you that you're closer to the people that have just hit foreclosure than you'll ever be to the people who are millionaires. So I ain't judging you. I'm just reminding you that in 2025, you can no longer call the unhoused lazy. In 2025, you can no longer say people who don't have food aren't working hard enough, because those two things are not true. I had to learn the hard way, and I'm praying you never have to learn.
Okay, my love. So listen, here's the truth. Nobody's going to tell you but your girl, me, Robin Milan. When you are broke, you're not just struggling to get ahead. You're being charged more for the basics. Poverty punishes you at every single turn, okay? That's why in my last video, we talked about money does actually buy happiness, okay? Like, for real. Make sure you watch that video. So let's start with housing. If you can't afford a down payment or first or last month's rent in a very nice area, you end up in a neighborhood where rent be high for smaller, worse apartments. And because your credit isn't perfect, landlords charge you extra for deposits or higher rates just to move in. Okay, listen, holla if you hear me. Cars, same thing. Wealthy people buy reliable cars outright or get low interest loans because their credit is so good. When you are broke, you get stuck with buy here, pay here lots, okay? And it's skyrocket with the interest rates and cars that break down every few months, meaning more repair costs, more missed time at work, and more money down the drain. Girl, let's not talk about them food prices, girl, because I got 5 kids I gotta feed. So listen, don't even get me started. Healthy food is cheaper in the long run. But when you're broke, you can't drop $200 on groceries for the month. You end up buying $20 worth of fast food every couple of days, which adds up to way more money over time, plus the cost of your health. And nowadays, they got the healthier food more expensive than the unhealthy food. Like healthy food, like fruits and this and the third, is way more expensive than it is you getting a bag of chips for $2. You get an apple for $10, but the bag of chips is $1. Like, make it make sense for me, please. Okay? Like, it doesn't even make sense. But that's what they want you to do. Listen, this ain't the channel for that. Never mind. So, listen. And also debt. Like, that's one of the most expensive parts of being broke. Payday loans, credit card interest, late payments, late fees. It's a trap designed to keep you poor. And once you're in it, the system will milk you for every penny, girl. And let's not mention time, because time is money too, and poverty steals your time. When you don't have money, you can't pay for the convenience. You're taking 3 buses to work. You're waiting hours in line because you can't afford express service. You're working 2, 3, 4 jobs just to keep the lights on, meaning that you have no time left to rest, to dream, or to build something better. Girl, listen, when I say I hear you, I hear you. And let me talk about health again. When you're broke, you can't afford preventative care. So small health issues turn into big ones. Expensive emergencies, stress from financial insecurity literally shortens your life. So yes, poverty is expensive because every choice you make is limited, and those limitations cost you more in the long run. And here's the kicker, girl. Like, once you get money, you realize how much cheaper life actually is when you can afford to pay up front. Wealthy people save money on lower interest rates, buying quality once instead of repeating junk over and over and over again. Like living in areas with lower crime rates and insurance costs, avoiding late payments and late fees because bills are paid on time. Girl, who the fuck am I talking to? Like, access to better health care and nutrition that prevents bigger expenses later. That's why I'm so passionate about telling women how to learn how to make their own money. And I'm really trying to pivot, girl. I'm trying to pivot because when you have money, you're not just buying luxury, you're buying efficiency and options and ability to keep more of what you earn. When you're broke, the system profits off of you in survival mode. When you have money, you get to use the system to your advantage. Okay, we're not here to hate on the rich. We here to become rich. Okay, that's why we the rich babes. Like, come on now. We're not here to hate on that at all. And here's the mindset shift. Stop thinking wealth is about buying more stuff. Wealth is about buying freedom from the penalties of being broke. The real flex isn't designer, girl. It's paying less for everything because you can afford to pay it right the first time. The real flex is having savings so you don't have to take a payday loan. The real flex is buying food that nourishes you instead of draining you. The real flex is living somewhere safe and knowing that you're not one emergency away from a fucking disaster. They shooting again. Okay. So when people say money isn't everything, shut up. Listen, all I keep hearing is I'll never have to choose between paying rent or paying for groceries. Okay. I hear I'll never have to work 60 hours a week and still be broke. Poverty robs you of choices. It drains you physically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, and climbing out of it takes more than just budgeting. It takes building income streams, protecting your credit, and valuing your time enough to stop trading it all for survival. So no, I will never shame a woman for wanting to get more money. You should want to make more money always and forever. It's not enough. It's never enough. I will never shame someone for wanting wealth because wealth isn't greed, it's protection. Poverty is so expensive because it's designed to be. The only way to beat it is to rise above it. Do you hear me, girl? Rich babes, are we going to get some money this year or what? Listen, my loves, listen. I have another course coming. But I first need you to get your mindset together. Listen, if you are ready to break out of survival mode and start building real wealth, that is actually what I teach in the Rych Mindset Mastery Course. Okay, listen, it is about first and foremost, becoming the richest version of you, mastering her. Like, I can't help you if your mindset isn't right. I can give you all the tricks and the trades and all this other stuff like that. But if I could tell you how to make your first sale online, but I can't help you if your mindset isn't right. Babe, get the course. So by the time I drop the next course, you will already be ready. You will already have became her. You will already be operating on that mindset of the richest version of yourself. Stop waiting. Like, I hope that you guys make it to the end of these videos, because I'm really be trying. Listen, my course is it. The Rych Babes are already in there. I'm already changing lives in this course. Okay, so people are really taking advantage, and I hope that you take advantage too. Because yet again, I don't care if you want to do hair, sell lashes. I don't care if you want to become rich. I don't care if you're just trying to get out of a toxic relationship. Your mindset is the most important thing. So yeah, I'm going to be releasing 2 more courses. One is going to be about making money online, and the other one is going to be on YouTube, mastering YouTube. But I'm trying to explain to you, girl, if you are not operating in the richest version of you, I don't know what to say. So take advantage of my mindset course. Okay, she's not the richest version of you. She's not paying the penalty for being broke. She's getting paid for living on her own terms. Who am I talking to? So my loves, listen, babe, the link is in the description box below. It's for the ones who are just ready to level the fuck up. So become the woman who walks in the room and make people wonder. Secure the bag, protect your peace, girl, and stay rich, babes. Love you.